Thank you so much for joining us for CBN NewsWatch. I'm Ephraim Graham. Ahead today, a major shakeup at the Centers for Disease Control. A review concluded the agency failed to meet expectations amid the COVID-19 pandemic. We'll have a look at what's next. A new batch of improved COVID-19 booster shots could be available in a matter of weeks.
These are substantial upgrades in our vaccines, and those vaccines are coming very, very soon.
A federal judge reinstates a 20-week abortion ban in North Carolina, months after the United States Supreme Court decision to overturn Roe v. Wade. Some high-profile people are disappointed in the Roe v. Wade decision, and now misinformation is spreading. But some doctors are fighting back.
I really appreciate the opportunity to clarify this tremendous misinformation and scare tactic that's being done on the other side. Shame on them for scaring women who need care.
As the war in Ukraine continues, victims are finding comfort at a new center provided by CBN's Orphans Promise.
I think God is using all of these circumstances to bring people to Him. He's using us during this time to bring all of these people who are lost, who lost everything.
Children are consuming a lot more content on digital devices. It could possibly become an addiction that follows them into adulthood.
We had noticed some behaviors in our kids after screen time that we didn't really like.
See what steps this mother took to give her children a digital detox.
God put us on the earth to be happier.
See why this psychiatrist says you can be 30% happier in just 30 days. All these stories and more coming up next from the CBN Newsroom.
This is CBN NewsWatch.
We begin this half hour with a shakeup at the Centers for Disease Control. CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky says the agency spent 75 years preparing for a crisis like the COVID-19 pandemic, but feels it did not meet expectations. She's calling for a major reset at the agency after receiving new COVID data. The review says the Centers for Disease Control's guidelines on mass vaccines, along with other guidelines, have been confusing and overwhelming. Now, Dr. Walensky is calling for internal CDC staffing changes, and she wants the agency to share information in a way that is easier to understand as well as faster. Meanwhile, new and improved COVID-19 shots could be made available to millions of Americans in a matter of weeks. That is according to the White House COVID coordinator.
These are substantial upgrades in our vaccines, and those vaccines are coming very, very soon.
Dr. Hazish Jha says the new booster shots could be made to target the original COVID strain and the Omicron BA4 and BA5 subvariants. The Centers for Disease Control is urging states to start pre-ordering the new booster shots, as new data shows the virus-related deaths still remain high. Right now, an average of 400 American COVID deaths are reported daily. In other news now, the abortion battle continues in the states after the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade. In North Carolina, a federal judge ruled a law banning abortions after 20 weeks can now go into effect. The judge lifted an injunction on the ban, citing the high court's ruling giving states the right to regulate abortion. In South Carolina, the Supreme Court there temporarily blocked a ban on abortions after a heartbeat is detected. That law went into effect immediately after Roe v. Wade was overturned. The ruling puts the law on hold as other legal challenges are going forward. A number of high-profile people who are disappointed in the Supreme Court ruling on abortion are now claiming expectant mothers are in danger of dying if they experience complications during their pregnancy. CBN medical reporter Lori Johnson looks at the misinformation surrounding this issue and how some doctors are now fighting back.
Kansans who voted to keep abortion legal may have done so because they fell for a common yet incorrect scare tactic. Abortion advocates in Kansas and elsewhere falsely claim doctors in states with abortion restrictions are not allowed to end a pregnancy to save the mother's life.
There was patently false information that was being spread everywhere, that somehow women who experienced miscarriage or ectopic pregnancy, other health conditions, were somehow going to be at risk, and that was never the case.
Ectopic pregnancies are most often the subject of this misinformation. An ectopic pregnancy is a rare condition when the baby begins to grow outside the mother's uterus. The child cannot survive an ectopic pregnancy, and if left untreated, it could cause the death of the mother as well.
Unfortunately, the American people have been gaslighted by the abortion industry.
Doctors are pushing back on what they call fear-mongering.
Well, this is just a false dialogue. Every state that has put abortion restrictions into place has an exemption for a life-threatening condition for the mother, and many of them specifically mention ectopic pregnancy.
That means, if needed, doctors will end a pregnancy even in states with abortion restrictions. But it's not as common as some might think.
It is hardly ever necessary to straight out perform an abortion to save a woman's life.
Aside from ectopic pregnancies, there are two other primary medical conditions when a doctor anywhere in America can legally separate an unborn child from its mother: severely high blood pressure called preeclampsia, or when the water sac ruptures too early.
And the reason we do that is not to intentionally kill the baby. The reason we do that is to save the mother's life. Because if we don't separate the mom and baby under those circumstances, both the mom and the baby die. Whereas if we separate them, then the mom has a chance to live. But this is very different than the intent of an elective abortion. An elective abortion is done specifically for the purpose of producing a dead baby.
The good news is, thanks to modern medicine, if the pregnancy is at least about 5 months along, the baby can likely survive outside the womb. So pregnant women shouldn't be afraid to seek medical attention.
I really appreciate the opportunity to clarify this tremendous misinformation and scare tactic that's being done on the other side. Shame on them for scaring women who need care.
So while doctors can still end pregnancies to save the mother even where abortion is restricted, it's not something widely reported in the press.
I think the media has been biased in favor of abortion pretty much since 1973 at least. All of that reporting about how women will die. Somebody dies in an abortion.
Media watchdogs point to a pattern.
Violence against pro-life centers, pro-life advocacy group offices, vandalism at Catholic churches. These are stories that they're not interested in doing. You know, they're talking about how women will die while the pro-choice folks are throwing Molotov cocktails into offices. And they've vaguely been supportive of the idea of protesters outside the homes of Supreme Court justices who are pro-life.
So while the abortion debate rages on, one thing is certain: doctors are allowed to end a pregnancy to save the mother's life, even in states with abortion restrictions, despite a misinformation campaign to the contrary. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
America is showing its support for Taiwan. Representatives of the two governments will hold talks on a new trade treaty. This comes after China conducted weeks of war games around the self-ruled island that the communist regime claims as its own. The military exercise sparked by House Speaker Nancy Pelosi's visit to Taiwan earlier this month. China opposes Taiwan negotiating any agreements with other nations. The U.S. says the trade treaty will enhance trade and regulatory cooperation. Now to the war in Ukraine, where atrocities by Russian troops are fueling the refugee crisis that's forced millions to flee. The country, however, victims are finding physical and spiritual comfort at a center run by CBN's Orphans Promise in neighboring Poland. Lucille Toulousan reports now from Warsaw.
Ukrainian mother Oksana Horbunova showed CBN News this video of utter destruction she shot while driving to Irpin and Bucha, cities bombed by Russia. On these trips, she brings food and much-needed supplies to residents trapped in the war zone, then transports women, children, and the elderly back to Poland. Oksana shared accounts of the barbaric acts Russian soldiers have inflicted on civilians.
I saw moms that cannot live because her 3 daughters being raped in front of her, and 2 of them have died. And I saw kids who saw how their grandmas and moms being raped on their eyes, and they cannot talk because of the stress. 2 of my friends, Christians, were helping to evacuate people in a village not far from Kiev, and they've been murdered and killed to the death. And his wife still don't have braveness to look at the pictures. His feet were shot, his arms were broken, the knives holes in the belly, and 4 shots through the head. War, it's when army is go against the army. It's hard to call this war Israel war, because it's mostly like evil against the humanity.
Oksana says there is a tremendous need to help war victims overcome trauma. And this is why she, church partners, and other humanitarian organizations are happy that CBN's Orphans Promise is now in Poland. Today is very historical because the first Orphans Promise Center behind me is being opened. And this is very timely because there are millions of Ukrainian refugees, especially mothers and children, and they are here and they will be able to get all the support that they need through Orphans Promise.
I think God is using all of these circumstances to bring people to Him. He's using us during this time to bring all of these people who are lost, who lost everything, but they're gonna find the only thing that they need in life here is that relationship with Jesus.
Orphans Promise works with a Hand of Help organization at this training center. There is a divine connection in that Hand of Help director Misha Babyak and his wife worked with Orphans Promise in Berdyansk, Ukraine, where Terry Musen adopted 3 sisters. 5 years ago, Misha and his family moved to Poland at the Lord's direction, not knowing why.
God impressed in my heart that there will be a united work with CBN and Orphans Promise, but we did not know what it was. But during those 5 years, we established good relations with the local churches here. When the war broke out, we began helping refugees. Through this partnership, God will touch the hearts of the Ukrainian people. In this center, they will learn how to trust God. Now we understand why God has called us here.
Orphans Promise organized kids camps for Ukrainian kids and teenagers. They played games, did crafts, and learned about Jesus through Superbook. As one mother put it, "What did you do with my kids? They were finally happy again this week. I heard them laughing again." Lucille Telusan, CBN News, Warsaw.
Coming up, a look at a family's digital detox. What happens when a mother pulls the plug on her family's screen time? We're going to show you. Stay with us. Children spend a significant part of their day staring at screens on their phones or other electronic devices. For some, it's an addiction that could follow them into adulthood. That is why one mother took a drastic step and pulled the plug on her children. Jenna Browder brings us the results of this family's digital detox.
It's the day and age we live in. Technology rules, and sometimes we just need a break. And that's especially true for kids.
We had noticed some behaviors in our kids after screen time that we didn't really like.
Just ask Molly DeFrank, mother of 6, all under the age of 12.
And it wasn't until we fully pulled the plug on all of their screen entertainment cold turkey, we gave them a break. And it wasn't until we did that it was like removing a filter from our kids. We finally got our kids back. And ever since we have made that decision, I've been helping other parents do the same thing.
Her new book, Digital Detox, the 2-week tech reset for kids, begins by taking parents step by step through a 2-week cold turkey detox for their kids. Talk to us a little bit about some of your strategies to, cut back on screen time for parents. I think a lot of parents are kind of at a loss. They don't know what to do here.
You're absolutely right. Most of the parents I help are great parents of amazing kids, and they're already working to monitor their kids' screen time. They're taking away time for bad behavior. They're adding some back, and they're finding it still not working.
Molly says it comes down to brain chemistry. Too much screen time creates excessive levels of dopamine in the brain, the kind that can be addicting. And for kids, it's a problem that can follow them well into their adult lives.
What you're actually doing is you're resetting your kids' dopamine levels, because when they're scrolling, when they're playing, when they're tapping, their dopamine levels in their brains are excessively high. So real life can't compare. That's why they're complaining of boredom. But when you give them this 2-week window to reset those levels back down to real life, you're giving them time to rekindle a love of real life activities.
Things like playing outside, arts and crafts, reading and writing. The second half of the book helps parents come up with a long-term strategy using their observations from the detox period. So how often should families do a detox?
And it's going to be unique for every family and child. So once you kind of get that calibrated right for your kids and your family, you should be good for a while. But there have been families who it's gotten out of place again and they've done another detox. And this is great. In fact, a lot of these Silicon Valley engineers and CEOs, they'll give themselves dopamine breaks too. So this is it's science-based, and the results are really, the proof's in the pudding.
Molly says for most families like hers, it's not about eliminating technology, just making sure it's in its right place.
And most parents find, pretty much every parent who's reported results back to me has said that their kids get along better, they find new real-life productive hobbies, and they're happier. Their mental health is better. It's just across the board beneficial to these kids.
Her own kids are a testament to that. In just 2 weeks, she says they were free from the grip of technology. Mood shifted, creativity exploded, and they learned how to entertain themselves and enjoy life without screens. And yours can too. Molly says it can be difficult at first, but giving your kids a break from technology is something that will pay off for them and the entire family for years to come. In Washington, Jenna Browder, CBN News.
Still ahead, 30% happier in 30 days. A leading psychiatrist says it's possible even in these troubled times. Hear the science behind pursuing happiness coming up. And welcome back to CBN NewsWatch. The pursuit of happiness is more elusive than ever for millions of Americans after more than 2 years of a pandemic. Just suppose you could be 30% happier, though, in just 30 days. One leading psychiatrist says you can. CBN medical reporter Lori Johnson brings us the details.
The COVID-19 pandemic sent mental health crises through the roof. Adult depression tripled, while that plus anxiety disorders among children more than doubled.
Well, Americans are the unhappiest they have been since the Great Depression.
Psychiatrist Daniel Amen says it doesn't have to be that way.
With the right strategies, you can learn to be happier in a short period of time.
After studying more than 200,000 brain scans, he discovered neuroscience techniques that can lead to increased happiness. He then tested them on his patients and found an average 32% improvement after 1 month.
I was pretty excited about it. And Lori, what most people don't know is happiness is a moral obligation. God put us on the earth to be happier. That if you ask someone who is raised by an unhappy parent or married to an unhappy spouse, whether or not happiness was a moral obligation, I can assure you they would say yes.
In his book, You Happier, Dr. Amen prescribes different strategies that could affect 16 personality types.
They're balanced people. Almost anything will make them happy. Spontaneous people who need novelty. Persistent people who need routine and hate surprises. They're sensitive people, and they got hurt the worst in the pandemic because they need other people and they need connection. And then there are cautious people who need to feel safe.
Dr. Amen says improving happiness involves boosting brain health, which means limiting junk food.
So the foods that people have been reaching for to feel better during the pandemic, of course, and before, can actually make your mood worse in the long run?
Right. We reach for things that help us feel better now, but not later.
Same goes for alcohol.
I'm just not a fan. People who drink every day have smaller brains.
Dr. Amen says supplements can also help. While making recommendations based on personality type, he adds just about everyone benefits from heavy hitters like a multivitamin, probiotic, vitamin D, and fish oil.
My favorite for happiness is saffron. It has been shown in 24 randomized controlled trials to be equally effective as antidepressants. And I'm like, wow.
In addition to improving the health of our brain, Another key to happiness is learning to control our thoughts.
Whenever you feel sad, mad, nervous, or out of control, write down what you're thinking and then challenge it. You don't have to believe everything you think.
Replace negative thoughts with positive ones.
Philippians 4:8. Think on whatever is true, right, lovely, worthy of praise. Let your mind dwell on these things, focusing on what you're grateful for, starting every day with today is going to be a great day, pushing your brain to what's right, not just what's wrong. Notice what you like about other people more than what you don't.
Dr. Amen recommends limiting time online, pointing to research showing social media increases suicide risk in teenage girls, which he believes could be just the tip of the iceberg.
I think it's very important for parents to supervise the feeds that go into their children's brains, and we should supervise them for ourselves.
In addition to social media, Dr. Amen says many people would likely be happier if they cut back on their consumption of the news. So while genetics and circumstances can play a role in our overall happiness, it appears our choices and habits play even bigger ones. Lori Johnson, CBN News.
Stay with us. Your Thursday Thankful is coming up next. We'll be right back. Time now for your Thursday Thankful. I hope you'll join me in this prayer of gratitude. God, thank you for another day. I'm grateful for another opportunity to do what is good and what is right. Thank you. With that prayer, I encourage you to make this a Thursday filled with gratitude. That is going to do it for this edition of CBN NewsWatch. I want to remind you, you can find more of our news programs on the CBN News channel. You can find them there at any time, as well as online, cbnnews.com. We'd love to know what you think about the stories you've seen here today. You can email us. The address is newswatch@cbn.com. You can also reach out and touch us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We certainly would love to hear from you. Again, make this a Thursday filled with Thanksgiving and join us right back here, same time tomorrow. Goodbye, everybody, and God bless.